They were the untouchables, highly paid city attorneys with second jobs that they were doing at the expense of their city jobs, which basically means at your expense. They were untouchable because no one knew what they were doing, because no one bothered watching them until we did. Dean Staley with the latest.
Well, Dick, how would you like to make $75,000, even $100,000 a year at a job where you could come and go as you please? Looks like two Albuquerque city employees had those jobs until News 13 and Larry Barker started asking questions.
I'm not going to give a comment at this time.
A Larry Barker investigation uncovered Anita Reyna and her secret side job. Reyna was a full-time hearing officer for the city who skipped work as much as 20 hours a week to work as a San Felipe Pueblo tribal judge, working a second job while cashing her city paycheck.
You haven't been taking leave for your absences from your city job.
Then there's Reyna's supervisor, Roberto Albertorio. As chief hearing officer for the city, he ran a private law practice out of his city office. Records show last year this $105,000 a year city employee banked more than $40,000 extra dollars while working on city time. Albertorio didn't have to sneak around to run his private law practice on city time. That's because he doesn't have a supervisor. He's one of the city's public hearing officers. It's a great job because, as News 13 has learned, they answer to no one.
After reviewing the ordinance that deals with the administrative hearing office, he doesn't work for the executive branch, being the mayor's office, any of the departments of the city, any of the council.
Here's how it works. By state law, the city screens candidates for hearing officers. They send a list of qualified candidates here to district court, where the presiding civil court judge chooses and appoints each hearing officer. The district court's chief civil judge says, in principle, it makes sense.
Because they are hearing city cases. So having them appointed by somebody other than the city, I think creates a nice appearance of independence and neutrality.
Once hired, a hearing officer can only be removed after a hearing before and a unanimous vote by the city council, creating a select group of workers who answer to no one, not even us. What do you say to the taxpayers who are paying you to be a full-time employee while you're practicing law on the side? On special assignment, Dean Staley, KRQE News 13. And after our stories aired, both Reyna and Albertorio resigned their positions with the city. Dick, back to you.
All right, Dean, Albertorio worked for the city for 24 years, and he's racked up 45 weeks of unused sick days and vacation time, which means he has about $90,000 coming to him. The mayor's office told us today it is looking at legal options to avoid paying him that money. And a clarification about the story earlier in the newscast about the APD decision to have officers use lapel cams on all of their calls and traffic stops. APD has decided to implement that policy, but not until the department figures out the best way to do it. So at this point, it has not actually been ordered.